my biased mind, you can't have too many good sauropod models, especially if they're excellently executed and of new or obscure genera. PNSO has given us many great dinosaurs, but seem to have neglected sauropods on the whole, so I'm absolutely delighted to bring you today their latest edition. This is Chuanchuan the Lingwulong. Lingwulong has been estimated to be 19 to 20 meters, or 62 to 66 feet. The length of this model, accounting for the curves, is 54 centimeters, 21.3 inches, and the tallest point is 14 centimeters, or 5.5 inches. So, taking a length of 19 meters gives you very nicely 1 to 35. I must say this is a pretty hefty model, weighing about 640 grams, that's 1.4, almost 1.5 pounds. I'd resigned myself to smaller sauropods and never thought I'd see the day when someone would make sauropods great again. To give you an idea of bulk, I can do no better than to show you the size compared to one of the OG monsters, this Carnegie Diplodocus. Lingwulong means Lingwu lizard, Lingwu being a city in southwest China. It's important as the only diplodocoid dinosaur from East Asia, because previously the isolation of East Asia suggested there were no diplodocoids there. It's also the earliest known neosauropod, the clade of derived sauropods that include both the diplodocoids and the macronarians. And finally, Lingwulong is a dicreosaurid, that group of sauropods with relatively small bodies, short necks, and tall neural spines that include Dicreosaurus, Bahadosaurus, and Amargasaurus. So this is a rather special sauropod to have, and I'm glad it's PNSO bringing it to us. The overall color theme is brown, and that's really in keeping with current thinking that you don't get too much gaudiness in large animals. However, I've always liked the idea of some accents here and there. This time we again have what's almost a PNSO trope, stripes. But they're done nicely and faded so subtly that I don't mind it so much. Happily, Lingwulong is known from several specimens, with some referred remains, and together they give us a very complete picture of the animal, which is a rarity with sauropods. Let's take a closer look. Now first, the head. You can see that the detail here, and later on elsewhere, is really beyond contestation. From the minuscule size of the scales to their individuality, PNSO really sets a very high bar indeed. Unusually for diplodocoid, Lingwulong has a U-shaped snout and not a squared-off one, and I'm glad that's seen here. There's also a bit of a beak, an idea that seems to be gaining popularity with sauropods. Now these are the kind of differentiating factors that will please the discerning eye. Now what might be less pleasing for some people is the overbite here. Going down, you can see of course that short neck. Then that compact yet bulky body. Now, while basal dicreosaurids lack the characteristic elongated cervical spines like in the Amargasaurus, there's a detail here that I really like. Now along here, you see a double row of what look like scutes. That converge in the sacral region, and I think it's a nod to the bifid neural spines that dicreosaurids have presacrally. They might even mark the beginning of protrusions, a sign of the future to come. We do know that Lingwulong had bifid cervicals, though not all dorsal ones, but I don't really mind this. I'll just consider these ones here to be sculpts. The neural spines also get longer towards the hips, resulting in a rather unique profile, which we do see here. And then the body, and throughout you'll see folds, wrinkles, and happily for me, scales. I've always felt too many sauropod figures have taken the easy way out of elephantine skin, or going in the direction of oversized detail. Now, PNSO is, in my opinion, one of the few that seem to be able to sculpt them finely enough to look realistic. You'll also see several sculpts scattered throughout. There is, however, this area above the hip here, with these vertical wrinkles that I'm a little puzzled by. But otherwise, I'm absolutely delighted on the whole. I mean, if we look at the underside here, this is just really not something I could have expected when I started collecting years ago. And here in the shoulders, interestingly, there are these bigger scales, which might also represent some kind of osteoderm armor. So again, the kind of thinking that goes into many of PNSO's creature designs. Down the arm here, again the scale detail. You see the thumb claw. Likewise here down the thighs. Again, look at the scales, the individuality. Then to the feet, you see the rhinoclaw toes. Just such a pleasure to see. Moving down the tail, more delicious detail. Again, the stripes are very nicely blended in. And here's one of the highlights for me, this segue into a blue-white color towards the tip. Now I like this because it adds a surprising speck of interest, but also because Dicraeosaurids belong to that branch of dipodocoids called Flagellicordata. Now these are sauropods with long whip-like tails, and the idea they might have been used for signaling
that are used for communication between members of the herd
is supported here by this contrast of color. It's beautiful. Now I know there's a lizard or a snake with a tail like this, but the name slips my mind. Maybe one of you experts can remind me. Alright, comparison time. First, some Dicraeosaurids. Here's the GR Toys Dicraeosaurus. Then the PNSO Amargasaurus, one of my favorites but maybe a little outdated now. The Collectae Bahadosaurus. Now some other dipodocoids. First off, I'm sure you want to see the Eofauna Diplodocus. this is such a beautiful model as well. And then also the wild safari Diplodocus. And going outside a bit, here's a Macronarian neosauropod, the W dragon giraffe titan. And finally, my customary Wilson T-Rex. So that's it for the PNSO Lingwulong. Now PNSO hasn't done many sauropods for a long time, save for the disappointingly small 1:45 scale Mamensisaurus. So it's a really happy occasion that they have given us one, and a 1:35 scale model, with their signature consistency of detail and sculpt from nose to tail tip. I really hope that PNSO does more sauropods and in 1:35 scale. Perhaps not all, but I would really like to see some favorites in 1:35. Words really can't express how grateful I am to PNSO for doing this large-size sauropod. It really brings back memories. I'm so happy to add this unrepresented and very significant Chinese sauropod to the shelf and to actually see what's possible here. I can't wait to see what else PNSO has cooked up for us. So take care my friends, and I'll see you soon for another video.